In today's Final Touch, a holiday tradition is now on display in San Francisco.
It's the Fairmont Hotel's famous gingerbread house. The two-story structure is 25 feet tall and 35 feet wide, includes a private dining room with seating for 10. Yes, you can go inside of it. The gingerbread house is made up of 6,000 bricks of gingerbread, 3,300 pounds of royal icing, and more than 1,600 pounds of candy. Each year, the hotel's culinary and engineering teams join forces to plan and build the enormous gingerbread house. This year's version, the large.
And that is real gingerbread?
Yeah,
you could eat that?
Yeah, you could eat it. And go inside and have dinner.
I would love to see that. It's amazing.
It is. That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, a Mineral Point bowling alley could be rezoned to include adult entertainment. What one member of the community
to start a 14-day prison sentence.
And police are giving tips on how to keep your packages from being stolen during the season.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. The owner of a bowling alley in the town of Mineral Point hopes to add adult entertainment to his business.
Midway Lanes Bar and Grill is asking the town planning committee to rezone the building to allow the new addition. Amanda Quintana is here with the details. Amanda.
Yes, well, right now a zoning ordinance is preventing Midway Lanes from adding adult entertainment to their bowling alley, bar, and grill. The building would need to be changed to a B5, the zoning requirement that allows casinos and strip clubs. It sits on Midway Road right off I-151 and across from a small neighborhood there. Terry Gavlinger lives down the street and says, along with many of her neighbors, she would be upset if she had to pass a strip club every day, especially with her grandkids.
Mineral Point is no place for something like that. We're a small community and we would like to keep it that way, and we're historical, and that has nothing to do with the historics of Mineral Point.
She said the bowling alley is usually not busy and is sometimes closed when it's listed as open. The Midway Lanes owner declined to comment, telling me he's too busy to explain why he wants this change. The Planning Commission will meet on December 12th for a public hearing to discuss this. Then the town board will make their recommendation to the Iowa County Board. The town of Mineral Point chairman says if passed to his knowledge, this would be the first B5 zoning classification in that area.
All right, Amanda Quintana tonight. Amanda, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let's get a look at our first alert weather. It's been chilly out there, and meteorologist Dana Fulton with the very latest in the Weather Center. Dana?
Very, very chilly and pretty cloudy as well. Very overcast sky for us for much of the day. Looking at our visible cloud track, didn't even get much of a break for any sort of sunshine coming on through from sunrise to sunset. The clouds have hung around with us. Looking at our Doppler track right now, a mellow sky for us as far as any sort of precip concerns. That southern snow starting to move towards the New England area, moving through Ohio right now towards the New England area. Of course, parts of Wisconsin seeing that last night. Certainly not all of us, however. Temperature-wise, it is very cold outside. We're at 24 in Madison, 25 in Monroe and in Mineral Point. It's a bit of a drop in the last 24 hours with a breeze now coming from the northwest. Close to 10 miles per hour for Madison and in Janesville. That cooler air is helping our wind chill stay down quite a bit. Feels a little closer to 14 for us in Madison. By the end of the week, those wind chills will be in the single digits as our temperature trend stays cool for the next few days. High temps for tomorrow in the low 20s. A very chilly Tuesday ahead. We will be slightly closer to average by the end of the week, but we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the final week of November in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. The funeral arrangements for Bishop Robert Morlino have been set. A spokesman for the Diocese of Madison says there will be a vigil and a visitation for Bishop Morlino December 3rd. His funeral will be December 4th at 11 a.m. at St. Maria Goretti Church in Madison. Bishop Morlino died Saturday night following a cardiac event earlier in the week.
A former foreign policy advisor to President Trump's campaign will serve out a prison sentence in Wisconsin.
George Papadopoulos surrendered today about 60 miles north of Madison at a federal prison camp in Oxford. Rose Schmidt tells us more about that facility. She joins us from the News Center. Rose?
Well, Papadopoulos will serve 14 days at the prison camp in Adams County after a judge denied his requests to pause his sentence. He arrived there around noon today. He pleaded guilty last year to lying to federal agents about his interactions with Russian officials during the 2016 presidential campaign. Oxford has 2 different prisons at that facility. One is medium security. The other is the camp where Papadopoulos will serve. It's minimum security. A UW-Madison professor says CEOs, government officials, and others who have committed white-collar crimes have done time there, meaning it's not what you'd imagine a prison to be.
It's very typical of an administrative government building. Dorm-style housing, programming, all these sort of other trappings of a prison, but not the fences, not the towers, not sort of the more common characteristics of an actual prison.
Papadopoulos tweeted today that he could not believe he was going to a federal prison camp, saying he had never met a single Russian official in his life. Professor Stevenson says that it's unusual that a so-called camper would serve only 2 weeks because the sentences at the federal prison camp in Oxford are usually a year or longer. Papadopoulos' sentence also includes a year of supervised release and community service.
All right, Rose Schmidt in our news center. Rose, thank you.
A Sparta student is in custody after a social media threat. Sparta schools were in a classroom hold this morning while authorities investigated the threat. Sparta Area School District said on its Facebook page that school and law enforcement officials were searching for a student who made direct threats to the school, including using images of weapons over social media. The student was taken into custody at the school by law enforcement. The district says no one was injured.
2 Monroe men were injured in a single vehicle crash early yesterday. Emergency crews responded about 3 a.m. to Bankert Road, that's in the town of Monroe, for reports of a single vehicle crash with injuries. Investigators say 23-year-old Mitchell Reese of Monroe was driving west when he missed a curve in the road, hit a tree. He was wearing a seatbelt and was injured in the crash. He was taken to Monroe Clinic to the emergency room there. A passenger was also wearing a seatbelt, had to be extricated from the vehicle and flown to a hospital. Reese faces a tentative charge of first offense operating while under the influence.
A Janesville woman faces her 4th drunken driving charge after driving into a turn lane of oncoming traffic and hitting a curb. A Rock County deputy found the vehicle in traffic on Beloit Avenue by Highway 11 facing the wrong direction and had a flat tire. The deputy found the driver, 25-year-old Jasmine DeLapp, in the vehicle. Deputies say she showed signs of impairment and smelled of intoxicants. She was arrested on a tentative charge of 4th offense operating while intoxicated.
A Wanakee man was charged last week with several counts of domestic abuse after an incident with his girlfriend in mid-November. 25-year-old Douglas Swenson was charged with 3rd-degree sexual assault and domestic abuse, strangulation, and suffocation. Disorderly conduct as well. According to the complaint, Swenson initially wouldn't let the woman leave the apartment. Swenson followed her into the bedroom, allegedly choked and sexually assaulted her. Swenson stood mute in court today, so a not guilty plea was entered on his behalf by the court. He was released on signature bond and scheduled back in court December 10th. The number of farms filing for bankruptcy is increasing all across the upper Midwest. A new analysis from the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis shows 84 farms filed for bankruptcy in Wisconsin, Minnesota, the Dakotas, and Montana in the 12 months that ended in June. That's more than double the number over the same period in 2013 and 2014. Minneapolis Star-Tribune reports the increase in Chapter 12 filings reflects low prices for corn, soybeans, milk, and beef. The situation has gotten worse for farmers since June because of the retaliatory tariffs that have closed the Chinese market for soybeans and held back exports of milk and beef.
On this Cyber Monday, tens of millions of us are looking for deals online.
But when it comes to ensuring you actually get what you order, Madison police have some suggestions, and our Madeline O'Neill joins us with more. Maddie?
Well, it's a term you might have heard of. People who steal packages from outside homes are often called porch pirates. These thieves can be difficult for police to track down and arrest, so they have some tips for what you can do to keep your deliveries safe this season.
Oh, hey, I see that you have a video doorbell. Well, that may or may not stop me and my fellow porch pirates this holiday season from taking your packages.
While they likely won't be wearing an eye patch.
They're on your porch and they're gone just as quick.
Madison police officer Tyler Grigg wants you to keep an eye out for these thieves all the same.
We call these little gremlins porch pirates.
To outsmart the pirates, Grigg made this video with a few suggestions.
But I do have some tips from the Madison Police Department.
Here at Wendy Reichel's Madison Homes.
Probably they'll pull up any second now with my deliveries. So I went a little crazy on Black Friday.
Reichel is home on Cyber Monday, not just to do some shopping, but to wait for a few more packages to arrive.
It's like a kid on Christmas.
To keep that feeling from being stolen, she's taken a number of other precautions as well, like getting alerts from her carrier and installing a video recording doorbell system.
It's just an extra safety precaution.
Having a doorbell system like this, scheduling delivery for a day you're home, and coordinating with your carrier, they're all tips Officer Grigg recommends.
A lot of crimes are crimes of opportunity.
He says reducing that opportunity by having packages sent to a physical store location or your workplace is also helpful. Protecting against porch pirates is about having some foresight and staying on the lookout for your neighbors, too.
Just watch out for each other and pay attention to your surroundings.
And remember, oh good, you locked up.
While Madison police don't specifically track package thefts from porches, they say arrests do happen in those cases, although it's often difficult to identify the porch pirates. That's where those video recording doorbells can come in really handy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, a lot to think about on this Cyber Monday. Maddie, thank you.
You're welcome.
TVs, computers, and clothes. Those are just 3 of the biggest items you can expect to see with slashed prices online today. Financial experts say consumers are about to click their way into the record books on this Cyber Monday, generating over $7 billion in sales. That's up nearly 18% from last year, and that would make today the biggest online shopping day in U.S. history. As for where you can find the best online deals, of course, Amazon, which is no surprise, Walmart and Target are also up on the list by financial experts because so many deals are now online. Many local shops as well are changing the way they run their business.
There are local businesses that have done a really nice job of curating some very unique things, who know their consumers well, and who talk to them and get to know, and these are things that is difficult for the giants to do as well.
As for what not to buy today, jewelry, smartphones, toys, and workout equipment tend to be cheaper at other times of the year.
An area dental clinic is giving back for the holiday season. For the first time, Dodgeville Dental offered a free clinic today for people in need of dental care. Patients were able to walk in, receive free cleanings, exams, fillings, extractions, and crowns during their visits.
This is just a way for us to be able to give back to our community. We realize that there is an issue with access to care, not only in our community, but in Southwest Wisconsin as well. We thought this would be a great opportunity. This is what we do every day. This is our talent, and we just wanted to give back.
Schultz says they provided free care to about 40 patients and hope to make this an annual event.
The state capitol Christmas tree was moved inside the rotunda this morning. The balsam fir, which measures 40 feet, was donated by Don and Mary Miller in Plainfield in Waushara County. It will be decorated with ornaments made by elementary students from around the state, and the tree will officially be lit tomorrow.
And there's more to come on News 3 at 5. Up next, why the president is threatening to close the U.S.-Mexico border permanently.
And after nearly 7 months of travel, NASA's InSight spacecraft arrives on Mars. What scientists will learn from the mission.
And on Wall Street, the Dow surges back with a big start to the week, up 354 points. The Nasdaq jumps 143. The S&P added 41. We'll be right back. President Donald Trump threatens to shut down the U.S.-Mexico border permanently after Sunday's clashes between migrants and Border Patrol agents. U.S.
border agents fired tear gas after nearly 500 migrants tried to illegally cross the border yesterday. Mexico says it's deporting 98 people who were involved in the clashes and is threatening to deport more. President Trump reiterated his call to Congress to approve money for the border wall. Republicans say they're currently working to get more funding for the wall, while Democrats say there is momentum for the next Congress to tackle comprehensive immigration reform.
I think Democrats in the House are serious about comprehensive immigration reform. I think we have some Republicans in the Senate, and let's see if we can do something.
The next government funding deadline is less than 2 weeks away. In the past, the president has threatened to shut down the government over the wall.
General Motors is embarking on a major restructuring, one that involves closing plants, discontinuing vehicles, and laying off workers. As many as 14,000 employees are expected to lose their jobs. About half of those pink slips will be handed to workers at 5 factories in the United States and Canada. The closures will target facilities that produce passenger cars and parts, including assembly plants in Detroit and in Warren, Ohio. Chief Executive Mary Barra says the moves reflect, quote, the realities of the marketplace. She said GM sees trucks, SUVs, and electric vehicles as better investments. President Trump isn't happy about the restructuring.
I was very tough. I spoke with her when I heard they were closing. And I said, you know, this country's done a lot for General Motors. You better get back in there soon. That's Ohio.
Layoffs and closures will come next year.
NASA's InSight spacecraft has landed on Mars, where it will conduct a series of experiments to shed more light on the past, present, and future of the planet. After nearly 7 months of travel, the spacecraft safely arrived on the red planet today, and just minutes after touchdown, the first photo was beamed back. InSight's mission is to help scientists get a better understanding of the makeup of Mars, not only from the surface, from soil samples, but from deep inside. InSight could bring answers to questions such as, is the planet's interior solid, liquid, or a combination?
Those types of questions are really important for understanding how the planet, what it looked like when it first formed and how it got to be where it is today.
Over the next decade, NASA says its Mars exploration program will keep looking at the challenges in sending humans to the fourth planet from the sun.
It feels like we're on the fourth planet from the sun these days. It has been a very cold November, and that trend continuing. Dana?
Yes. We should be in early January when our high temperatures are in the mid to low 20s. We got in the upper 20s today, so you could definitely say that it feels like the end of December for us. A cool day throughout the state. Last night, of course, we were talking about snowfall. I can successfully say much of Wisconsin really dodged the snow on this one. Looking at the highest totals that we got here in-house, much of them in Illinois and Iowa. Looking towards the southern edge of Beloit, and I do mean the southern edge of the city, 3 inches. You go to the northern side of the city, barely seeing anything. It was a very tight gradient from the areas that did see snow versus the areas that did not in Rock and Greene County. Here's our current snowfall depth. Again, you go down into Illinois, some areas well over 6 inches right now. For much of the northern portion of Wisconsin, we're a little closer to 3 inches. Looking ahead through the rest of the week, this cold air is going to stay with us for a few days. We will get a little more sunshine, though, for tomorrow and into Wednesday. Still a few clouds, but partly sunny skies will return. And by the weekend, we are going to have the chance for a little bit of rain and also some snow showers. Right now, though, our Doppler radar is nice and calm throughout the area. No threat for any sort of flurries tonight. That area of low pressure that brought the snow throughout the Midwest now well off to the east, bringing snowfall for Iowa and into Pennsylvania, and then rain up into the northeast area, the New England area. For us, our high pressure will slowly start to sink southeast, currently sending us that cool northwest breeze that's been picking up for us this afternoon. Cloudy overnight, and then as we head into tomorrow, plan on those clouds breaking up just a little bit. We'll have a partly cloudy sky for the morning, and then a little bit of sunshine later in the day. Notice, though, temperatures early in the morning in the teens. It's going to be a very cool start to our Tuesday. By Tuesday afternoon, we will be in the mid-20s. Overnight, we get a little bit of more clearing. That's going to help our temps drop even more heading into Wednesday morning. Could feel like we're closer to the single digits by Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, again, highs will be in the low 20s for us, so do plan on with that breeze factored on in from the northwest. It'll feel a little closer to 10. So it's going to feel about 10 degrees below what our actual temperatures are at because of the breeze. That wind chill could be a little wicked for us for our Tuesday. Same goes even for into Wednesday. Downtown right now is fairly mellow, just a little cloudy outside. If you are heading out for the evening, you'll definitely want the thicker jacket. Barely hit a high of 28 degrees today. That's 10 degrees below average. As Eric said, this whole month has almost been below average every single day for us. Low temperature wise, though, that's exactly where we should have been this morning. Overnight tonight, we'll drop into the teens and our skies will steadily become partly cloudy. Plan on a breezy night. It'll be cold tomorrow, also cold, but partly sunny, which will be a little nicer outside. It's not nearly as bad with the cold if you're standing in the sun as opposed to in the shade. And the 20s for both tomorrow and Wednesday. Those overnight lows cold again heading into Wednesday. But then as we head into Thursday, mostly cloudy with the potential for some light snowfall, and that may linger into early Friday morning. Not a major event, but it could be a little accumulation for us in southern Wisconsin again. Heading into the weekend, our temperatures do warm up, so we'll be talking about more of a rain chance for Saturday, but it may mix for us overnight. Timing on that, of course, still a few days out, but we'll be keeping a close eye on that precip chance as we head into the weekend. Of course, the first weekend of December already. Looking at our first alert traffic updates, though, 12 is backed up quite a bit. This is a look at Todd Drive right now. Through much of Dane County, we have a lot of green, but I do want to take a little closer look at 18 and 151 eastbound. The left lane there is blocked right now due to an accident. Throughout the rest of the Beltline, of course, still congested along the westbound side, down to 33 miles just west of Fish Hatchery Road, still 17 miles per hour though. Just east of Fish Hatchery Road. The eastbound side also reduced significantly. Folks traveling at about 20 miles per hour. Down near Janesville, much of the area looks good. That's good news. Again, a lot of green near Janesville for us right now. So if you are getting ready to hit the road, roads overall, aside from the Beltline, do look okay. Again, it's just a little slower both west and eastbound for us along the Beltline at this time.
All right, very good. Thanks, Dana.
Next, Dana, ahead at 5. A Chinese researcher says he has helped create the world's first genetically modified babies. We'll have that story next. A Chinese scientist claims he has carried out genetic editing on human embryos.
The controversial announcement would be the world's first, raising safety and ethics concerns. And now the university where this scientist had worked is investigating. Meg Oliver reports.
A Chinese researcher tells the Associated Press he helped create the world's first genetically edited babies.
I feel a strong responsibility that it's not just make it first, but also make it as example.
Dr. Heiji Anquai claims he altered embryos for 7 couples during fertility treatments. One resulted in the birth of twin girls this month. The gene editing was done using CRISPR, a tool that allows scientists to cut DNA apart to disable or fix a certain gene. The goal was to change a gene to prevent HIV infection. This kind of gene editing is banned in the U.S. because changes can be passed to future generations and could harm other genes. There are also concerns it could lead to designer babies, allowing parents to choose certain traits like hair, eye, or skin color. Many experts say the experiments are unethical.
We still have a lot of work to do to prove and establish that the procedure is actually safe. I would say that no babies should be born at this point in time following the use of this technology.
There's been no independent verification of the claims, and they have not been published in a medical journal. The university where the researcher had worked is calling for an investigation, saying he has been on unpaid leave and officials were unaware of the research project and its nature. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
The scientist also told the Associated Press the parents involved in the experiments do not want to be identified, and he would not say where he conducted this work.
Stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
Here's a look at what we're working on tonight's CBS Evening News. More than 14,000 ask what is next after massive cuts were announced at General Motors. A Midwest blizzard leaves behind a travel mess as more snow piles up in the Northeast. And a bittersweet reunion 18 months and 1,200 miles later. On tonight's CBS Evening News.
And a cold evening for us outside.
Very cold outside. Our skies are going to slowly clear. It'll help our temperatures drop to about 15 overnight. We're in the 20s for the next 2 days for afternoon highs, but we will get just a little more sunshine. And then we do have the chance for some precipitation to come back in the form of light snow initially, and then some showers as we head into the weekend. First day of December right around the corner there.
Almost here.
Dana, thanks. We'll see you in 30 minutes for News 3 at 6.